Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Middle Country Public Library podcast. I'm Sal DiVincenzo here in the studio with my fabulous colleagues, Sarah Fade,
Hello.
Nicole Rambo.
Hello.
How is everyone doing?
Good.
So we have a few episodes that we are actually recording today. The first being a movie chat, a holiday movie chat. Mm-hmm. And then the snow just fell behind Sarah. Can you do me a favor? Can you just rip that snow down, please?
Oh.
Thank you. All right. Yes. So we, obviously we record this live, so that's what happens. So we're doing 3 special episodes to wrap up 2024 to introduce you to 2025. So on this week's episode, we have a movie chat, as I mentioned before. The snow fell, and that's a holiday movie chat. Mm-hmm. Something that I have never seen. Ever. And it's crazy because it's like 78 years old or something ridiculous like that. Mm-hmm. And that is It's a Wonderful Life. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed from 1946, right?
Sure.
So directed by Frank Capra. Again, starring James Stewart, Donna Reed, mm-hmm. Lionel Barrymore, which is Drew Barrymore's uncle, I believe.
Something like that.
Really, yeah.
Thomas Mitchell and Henry Travers as Clarence the Angel.
Clarence.
Okay.
I liked her.
So if you haven't seen the movie like we haven't seen the movie, then you want to hit pause and then come back because we will be discussing spoilers.
Oh.
But even if you haven't seen the movie, you probably have a pretty good idea of what this movie's all about because it's in the cultural lexicon for decades now. So we'll just do a quick go over the plot. It is in black and white. I'm sorry, Sarah.
They have a colored version.
They do have a colorized version. They do also have, quote unquote, an abridged version.
Well, it was incredibly long.
On Hoopla Digital.
It was long. Yeah.
Do not watch the abridged version on Hoopla Digital. As much as I love, talking about the great resources we have here at the library, specifically Hoopla Digital, being able to use your library card to watch movies, stream movies on your TV and your devices. The abridged version of It's a Wonderful Life removes 20 minutes of the storyline that is the whole point of the movie. Literally the whole point of the entire movie, the payoff of the movie is removed from this. So imagine doing an abridged version.
Did you watch the abridged version as well?
I scrubbed through it to see what was missing because I wanted to know what was missing. Imagine watching The Lord of the Rings and literally it says we need to get rid of this ring and everything in between there is taken out, and at the very end the ring goes into the volcano. Another spoiler alert there for you. Anyway, do not watch the abridged version of It's a Wonderful Life. So we did watch the full version, which is available here at the library, of course. Our DVDs are on the floor right now, our holiday DVDs, if you're watching this during the
Not
holidays.
all of them. There's still some in
The majority of them
we
are,
have a large collection.
on the floor for you to get. It's also available everywhere pretty much. Again, making sure you get the full version because it's like past that 50-year copyright thing. So it's kind of like out there in the public domain.
How long is the movie?
The movie is
full movie.
130 minutes. So it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and then the abridged version is like 150. So they take out like a half hour. Again, the best half hour of the movie. Yeah. The film follows gentleman George Bailey. This takes place around the time the movie came out, so around World War II-ish, right before World War II. Mm-hmm. We see the movie starts off where people are praying for him. He's having a rough life, not a wonderful life, according to him. People are praying for him. We are introduced to these angels. They're faceless at the beginning of the movie. And pretty much the majority of the film is a flashback.
Right.
It's learning the life of George from when he was a child, saving his brother's life, to taking over his family business, much to his dismay. He wanted to travel the world. There's a lot of, general things that are in many movies and many stories. Young guy gets out of high school, wants to travel the world. Something happens in his little hometown. He's stuck now, and he has to, take the mantle of his father and, wear his father's shoes and whatnot and do all that kind of stuff. So the film follows this story of George basically growing up, taking these responsibilities, not being able to do the things that he wanted to do in his life.
Yeah. At every turn, he gets like...
Every turn.
Every time he's just about to get out...
Something terrible
happens and he can't.
Yes. But in that process of taking these turns, he does meet a lovely woman who we see at the very beginning of the movie as a child, but then grown up, Mary, who he ends up marrying. They continue to have kids throughout the film.
4 kids.
Yeah, 4 kids throughout the film, and we see this again. These what we assume to be, and from the outside looking into these terrible things that keep happening. There's a very evil, stereotypical evil banker man, Mr. Potter, who lives in town, who again
very rich evil
man, and kind of the parallel storyline here, and perhaps an allegory to what was happening at the time with housing and mortgages and whatnot. So George Bailey owns a mortgage company. That's how I understand it, right? It's basically like a loan.
Yes.
But they build the houses too.
And they build the houses, and they do it very fairly and affordably for all the people in town. Whereas, and they're beautiful houses. And then the Potter Corporation, or Mr. Potter, he builds slums, and he charges high interest, and he kind of like keeps the mortgage payer as slaves, so to speak. So it's those two things. And long story short, Mr. Bailey and his loan company gets into a bit of trouble because his uncle misplaces some money. He
should have fired his uncle a long time ago.
Misplaces some money, and the money ends up in the hands of Mr. Potter.
And every time George had an opportunity to leave, he stayed. You did something good. You know what I mean? Like he saw. You know what I mean? Like he's cultivating like goodwill. Yeah, like he sacrificed.
He sacrificed himself
for like what the town needed and what the people needed.
Exactly.
And like so he did have opportunities to leave, but he decided to stay.
He had money to go to college. He gave it to his brother, who ended up becoming a war hero.
His honeymoon money, he like gave back to the town because there was a run on the bank. Yeah. So like every time he was just about to get out, something would happen, and he would like choose the town and like his family over what he wanted to do.
Because he's a good person.
He's a good person.
He is a good person. He doesn't think so. Throughout the film, he thinks that he's a fool, but he is a good person. So, this goes on for an hour and 50 minutes, as I mentioned, much to the dismay probably of Sarah Fade, and maybe Nicole too, because she's like a tight 30. So at the 150-ish mark, an hour 50 minutes, this is when George decides, and it's probably for the time, probably something that wasn't really brought up a lot in film, some, very heavy subject matter is George decides that he wants to end his life.
Well, it was for the money.
He has an insurance policy that's worth $500 cash, but if he offs himself, it's $15,000, which
thanks to Potter for telling
more than double the value of the money that he lost and that he can give back. So he decides.
It wasn't like, I don't think it was, I'm depressed.
Right.
No, he said, this was his last, kind act, I guess, sacrifice. Before he can throw himself into a river, which obviously, this is the one thing I didn't understand, is he wants to throw himself into the river off the bridge, and yet he is stopped because Clarence, the angel, who needs to get his wings, and Clarence has been tasked with helping George throughout his life. He's a guardian angel. jumps in before George, and then George jumps in to save Clarence. And again, I don't know, was George just going to jump in and just go, or I don't know. But he saves Clarence, and through a very short, quick discussion, Clarence offers George the opportunity to see what would life be like without George in it.
Yeah, if he had never been born.
If he had never been born.
Which is also interesting. Yeah, he's like, I wish I had never been born or whatever. Which is also interesting because it's like, it's not like what would happen if I was no longer here. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's what happened if I like never existed. Yeah. Which isn't exactly the same thing.
No, it's a very it's a unique and novel approach to the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thing. Which, I was like, well, okay.
Yeah. So
this was based on a book.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's blame the author for that.
Yeah. So, but it's an interesting.
I still cried.
It's an interesting concept, right? It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
And because of him not existing anymore, because he was not born, a lot of things happened that actually ended up being very bad and terrible. Mm-hmm. So the brother ends up dying because George never...
When he was a child.
So George never saves him. Mm-hmm. And because the brother dies, and the brother no longer exists during the timeline, during World War II, he doesn't become a hero. He saves all these people.
And all those people
died. So thousands of people die there. Mary becomes an awful, terrible. She chooses a terrible job. She is a librarian.
She's a spinster, old maid
librarian.
Yeah, they made her frumpy.
Yeah. She's like gorgeous. She's like one of the most gorgeous people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Unfortunately, died very young.
She did. I know. Looked up after 64.
Yeah. She had
pancreatic cancer. Yeah.
So she's a librarian now. She does the library things. The town.
What a terrible fate.
The town is
still pure. She could have been a pole dancer. And
I will say, Potterville looked kind of fun.
Yeah, so
it was like
Bedford Falls.
Look like Patchogue.
Yeah. Bedford Falls, which was the original town where George lived, is now Potterville because there was no balance to the evil of Potter. He was able to basically buy out the entire town, and now it's Potterville, and it's filled with, at the time, probably very
what was the bad part of
scandalous?
Scandalous places.
New York City in the 70s,
like Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, so there was burlesque,
Times Square even.
Burlesque and gambling and whatnot. So he
jitterbugging.
He experiences this and sees all these terrible things. His kids obviously don't exist. His home doesn't exist. Yeah. All these terrible things go on. And he realizes, wow, I did make a difference in my life. Even though, I sacrificed, I made a difference, and all these people benefited from those sacrifices. So he's shown this alternate timeline. Mm-hmm. He ends up coming back to the original timeline. Probably because of Clarence, of course, and he goes back home, expecting to be arrested for losing this money and having a terrible life. But he realizes that he actually has a wonderful life, because not only does he appreciate his life now that he sees what his presence in this timeline and his presence in other people's lives has done. Whilst he returns to home, now all of a sudden people are showing up with money.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
And stuff and things to support him, and where in the past he supported them during their very dark and low times. Mm-hmm. They're supporting him, and he's like wired like $25,000.
That's from his friend.
Yeah, he only needed 8. Yeah. So people get their money back.
So there's a line where it says, to the richest man in Bedford Falls, or the richest man in the world, or whatever, something to that effect. So he's rich in both money and in both his life and his experiences. So that is, in a nutshell, a quick summary.
I don't know, but
of It's a Wonderful Life. So I will pass it on to my very opinionated friends. Nicole, I think you probably liked this movie more than Sarah did, but I'm just curious. What did you think?
No, I liked it. I was different than what I had thought it was a little bit. Because it's like you said, it's been around for 70. It's in pop culture, like you know. But I thought it was more time spent of him looking at his life.
That's what I thought. Like Our Town, the play Our Town.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh. But like almost like a Christmas Carol, whatever. Scrooge.
Christmas
you know what I mean?
Carol,
like I thought it was more time with this angel of showing him his life.
So that's what I thought.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so. That was only like whatever the 20 minutes that they take out. I didn't realize it was really just like you see him in his life. But I did think it was good. I thought it was like. Even though it was long, I thought it was quick for a movie of that time.
The ending was long, which I probably would have liked the abridged version, because I think that part I was like...
You would have hated the abridged version.
I don't think I would have.
Yeah.
But I liked his time with Clarence. I thought Clarence was funny. I liked his time with Clarence. I liked it. Like I said, I cried. It was emotional. I cried everything else. It doesn't matter. But I probably won't watch it again, because it is sad. Like... It's happy, but it's sad. But I'm glad I like actually did finally see it.
Yeah.
Because like it is so popular and it was a good movie.
Okay, Sarah, what did you think?
No, I agree with Nicole. I was surprised. I liked his character, like with his courtship with Mary and everything. Like I said, she was very pretty, and I was like, oh.
I love Mary. Mary deserves the world.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's okay. But he was very charismatic, and I was like, oh, it's cute. They're flirting and everything, and I was like, oh. But the ending, I was like, okay, we get it. Okay, come on. No, it was okay. It was fine. I did tear up at the end.
Yeah.
Rocky was like, are you crying? And I'm like, no.
It's emotional.
I'm not crying.
I think, for me, that this film is one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. I will put this easily in my top 10. It is a travesty that I did not watch it up until now, being in my 50s now.
Yeah, really, Sal.
Up until now, having coworkers like our favorite history man, Jim Ward, like this is one of his favorite movies of all time. Like, every holiday season he's quoting it in the office. He's doing his Jimmy Stewart impression, and still I did not see it. This was a fabulous movie. This was an absolute stellar performance by Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed. They both knocked it out of the park. It is, having seen this movie and see this quality of acting, puts a lot of our modern day actors to shame. I will say that. No, I will say that. No, not all of them. Not Keanu Reeves. Not all of them. But really, the writing was great. The acting was great. And I think because I had a certain set of expectations, as I think you both did, that it was going to be this corny kind of, not silly, but this corny movie about looking back on life and, oh, look, now I'm not the president of this company anymore. Now I'm not this, that kind of that Christmas Carol kind of idea. Yeah. And it just being a solid hour and 50 minutes of straightforward, really well done drama. Absolutely, positively thought it was great. And again, it's like one of the, I was shocked how much I loved it. I did also tear up at a number of moments in the film, and I enjoyed it very much, and I'm going to put it on my Christmas rotation for movies that I watched during the holiday season. But I was shocked. I really was. It blew me away. What a great film, really.
I wouldn't say that, but
okay.
It was no,
okay. Yeah. I think everybody's going to take something different from it.
I thought it was going to be a lot cheesier.
Yeah,
and that's what I thought. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do I think the acting was the best acting I've ever seen? No.
I didn't say it was the best acting. I said it was.
I think you did.
I said it. I said compared to some of the acting today, what's considered good acting today. I thought this was better.
I thought it's like different.
Yes.
Yes. I think it was. I mean, I've seen a lot of old timey movies in some part with everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm not much of an old timey movie person. So
I mean, it's not. Yeah. Like I said, it's not. It didn't.
This held my
Frank Capra
attention.
Won 3 Oscars for Best Director, so he's a very good director.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
This week, one of them.
Just
saying.
Like yeah.
Okay. No. But I do think it was good. But I don't I wasn't like, oh my God.
No, see, that's what I think. Yeah, exactly.
Rosebud and Frank Capra.
It was, for me, it was that situation. But yeah, okay. So as we usually do with our movie chats, a scale of 1 to 10, we're going to go throughout the room and you're going to pick it. Nicole Rambo.
I'll give it a 9.
A 9.
Oh.
Okay. Sarah Fade.
An 8.
An 8. Okay. Sal gives it a 10.
10.
Yes. So we have it here again at the library. It is available on Amazon Prime, I believe. It is.
I think everyone should watch it.
Oh yeah.
It's also available on YouTube. Again, just make sure.
Good.
Yeah. And maybe when I don't cry all the time, I'll watch it again. Like in a couple of years.
I wonder if I watch it again, if I'll like it as much and if you'll like it any less.
That's possible.
I wonder.
Because again, when you have a certain expectation for a film and you watch it, you're seeing it for the first time, absolutely it's going to be a different experience.
Because I think we're very different. Because I think when I'm like expecting something, I'll poo-poo it initially, and then I'll grow where you'll be like, and then you'll be like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
maybe I
no,
was too
we're kind of like,
gung-ho.
we're kind of like do this thing where we're like, both the different directions. But, so thank you so much for joining us for this movie chat, this holiday movie chat. If you want to watch older movie chats or listen to older movie chats, you just go to our website, mcplpodcast.com.
Wait. I just want to mention real quickly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What did you guys think of those creepy Santa masks those kids were wearing?
Oh.
What were they?
That's always been creepy from that whole time frame, the 30s and 40s. Any mask is like not
I
that.
wonder if in person it wasn't as creepy. No. Maybe it's the black and white that makes it creepy.
That's possible, yeah.
You see like old Halloween costumes? They're like
creepy.
horrifying.
I know. I was like, that's one thing I was like, ooh.
Well, look at 1955 when Disneyland opened up. What Mickey and Minnie look like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes, nightmare fuel. Yeah. So upper right hand corner of our website, mcplpodcast.com. Type in movie chat. You'll see all our movie chats. We might be in like the 40s, 50s of how many movie chats we've done over the years.
Wow,
So
it's a lot of movies.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back with the same clothes on for the next 3 weeks, we're going to do our best of 2024. So stay tuned for that next week. So for Sarah Fade and Nicole Rambo, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. See you on the next show.